But we turn to the phone lines, the Mercedes-Benz van phone line, to the reigning coach of the year from the Tennessee Titans, back here on the Rich Eisen Show, Coach Mike Vrabel. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing great as well. Better for talking to you. Are you a golfer at all? Do you play golf?
Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy the I'm not very good. I'm very inconsistent. But, yeah, I enjoy the things that go along with golf.
Is that you mean walking the course? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
Just everything, just the whole, just the whole process.
Swing oil? Little swing oil around the around the turn?
Swing lube, action, all those things.
I like it very much. Okay, let's talk about what action might be going on in your world. How does one prepare for the 26th overall pick in the draft? Can you walk me through that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to do some stock into, we've taken some guys that have been injured, the last couple of years, who we felt like wouldn't have been there had they not sustained injury, with Jeffrey Simmons and Caleb Farley. So you do some work on those guys that may be there. And I think you pretty much, you do the entire board, but then you start to try to look and, target, a handful of guys that you think will be around that. You never can really predict it, but
right.
You kind of figure out who could be available, and sometimes some guys slip for obvious reasons, or you like somebody better than somebody else does.
So you game it out, or are you gonna actually have mock drafts and things of that nature? Do you do that sort of thing?
We will. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
as we get closer to the process, those are things that we've done in the past. Had different picks come off in different scenarios.
Okay. What's it like coaching Derrick Henry, man? What's it like? You know how tough this game is. You've been on that. You've been in the hole when somebody's coming downhill. What is it like for you to coach a guy like him, Mike Vrabel?
Well, I mean, I've always respected Derrick and his ability to prepare for the rigors of the season. We understand, the impact that he has on the game, especially our football team, and he prepares for it. He knows what what lies ahead, and I think he's very determined. But it's always fun. We try to protect him sometimes against himself and work out a routine and a schedule and what we feel like is best for him. But he would go every single day at practice if that's what we wanted him to do, and that's not his plan. But he was always ready for as many carries, and he wants the ball as many times as he can get. When you
were playing, who was the guy coming through the hole you wanted to see the least?
Well, probably Jerome. Probably Bussy. Bussy was. I crossed over with him in Pittsburgh,
right.
And I went away, and I'd played them in years to follow, and now I'm like, oh, it's actually really live. This isn't just like tag-off days when we were teammates. Now it's actually we have to try to tackle this guy.
And he would deliver.
Well, yeah, certainly. You just wanted to try to get him before he got going.
Man, oh man, I just remember those days for sure too. I remember he trucked Urlacher one year, and he kind of seemed to, and that's another thing too that I love about Derrick Henry is he seems to relish it. He seems to like the trucking part of it, and he likes the fourth quarter.
And a different player, different body style, different play style, but
right.
Certainly very unique in their own right, and very, very, productive.
Mike Vrabel here on the Rich Eisen Show. You just used the word productive. How productive is it for you to take a look at the film against Cincinnati, and what do you take out of that? At all?
Well, we watch. We watch every game that we play. We go through
right.
them all. We go through all the cut-ups, and like a lot of game or every game. We know that there's going to be a lot of good in there. There's going to be a handful of bad, and there's going to be some of those things that we have to that are going to get you beat. And turning the ball over and giving up big plays are one basically at the top of the hit chart for us. And so we turned the ball over offensively. We gave up a big play early, to Jamar. We dove and missed a tackle there on a quick pass that changed field position, and so we try to take as much out of every game as we possibly can.
And what do you say to those who say it's your quarterback's fault? I'm sure you hear it. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the easy answer. I think that there's a lot that goes into it. Ryan knows he has to take care of football, but everybody else knows that they have a job to do to provide a clean pocket. We got to run great routes, and we have to go catch the football in front of our eyes, and those are all three things. And Brian's got to make great decisions. So those ultimately are what leads to interceptions, not just specifically in that game, but when you turn the football over or you fumble it, chances are, it's loose, or you're switching hands, or you're going to stiff arm, and the ball gets outside the framework of your body, and the second guy coming in, and so there's all ways that we can protect that guy who has the ball. He's got a responsibility, but everybody else has a responsibility as well to protect him.
And the other two narratives about your team, or at least your team is associated with, is the fact of Russell Wilson is now in the conference, and Matt Ryan is now in the conference, and you also have Deshaun Watson returning to the conference, and the American.
I'm trying to figure out how that narrative affects the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, well, the narrative is that you were the first overall seed, and the conference just got even more difficult.
It's the National Football League. It's hard. We played however many teams, eight or nine teams that made the playoffs last year, and beat however many of them. It's going to be the same next year. Everybody's got $220 million to spend, and it's going to be great players on every team. That's why this game is great. That's why this league is great. That's why everybody loves it. 18 teams have a chance to make the playoffs, or how many did last year? 20-some teams. 56 games within the last 2 minutes are decided. 31 on the last play. Take your heart pills and buckle up.
Mike Vrabel here on the Rich Eisen Show.
And you know what I mean? You guys, you guys have been around this league forever.
Yeah.
And it's what it's like.
No, I know that, and so and again, and
I love it.
You love the competition of it. I get it. I absolutely get it. That's why I wanted to ask you that question, Mike Vrabel. I knew I'd get an answer similar to that, but I just wanted to hear it from your mouth.
This was a lot. You're just dragging on. I really had to just answer the question.
I'm a Michigan man. I like to hear myself talk, Mike. Come on now. You understand me, Was it? Is this like baseball? Is it like a pitch clock? Am I on a pitch clock right now with you? Is that the way it works?
Opening day today, huh?
Yes, there is that too. Is AJ Brown on the trade block, Mike Vrabel?
As long as I'm the head coach, I love AJ professionally, personally. I've gotten to know him well as his coach, and enjoy seeing him as much as I possibly can. So, saw him here, working out here earlier. Said hi. So, as long as I'm the coach here, I would want to have AJ Brown on my football team.
Mike Vrabel here on the Rich Eisen Show. In the couple minutes I have left with you, I want to pick your brain here, because I'm sure you know all these scenarios, since you forwarded an idea to fix overtime to the membership at the league meeting that just finished up last month. You wanted suggested teams to go for 2 if they score a touchdown to win it. Instead, it was, I guess, more of a more conventional, if you will, idea.
Yeah.
So my question for you
I tried to pull, before mine got 0 votes, I tried to pull it off, but they wouldn't let me.
That's the way these things work. So.
Right. You can't fire me. I quit.
So let's get into it here. Are you now going to go and give the ball up in overtime? You want it second? Or you want it first now under these new?
Yeah, I mean,
rules?
I think those are things analytically we'll look at, and I know that's been the idea, and I think that's obviously exactly what you're going to need. You're going to have most likely, if you're are down, you're going to have 4 downs to do it, and that would be, I'm sure, the analytical approach, and and then there's probably also the approach that says, hey man, we want to go score and we want to put the pressure on them, and so I'm sure we'll look at all those things when the playoffs come around next year.
What's your general sense, though? I mean, I'm just interested in gaming it out, unless you don't.
Well, I mean, I just try to go through the general sense. Was that if you defer and you play defense?
Right. No, I know the if, but what do you prefer? What do you prefer?
I'm not going to have to make that decision. The playoffs aren't for quite a while.
No, I know that, but I mean, you gotta be prepared, don't you think? I mean,
I'm not going to prepare for a game that I don't know who we're playing or where we're playing at.
So it really is all circumstantially based, is what you're saying.
Well, you could have a big rainstorm coming in, and it could be a torrential downpour, and you'd want to take the football and score as fast as possible because, you knew that the rain was coming. There's a lot of factors that go into it. We'll look at it and we'll try to be ready that when the playoffs come around next year.
What about the idea that you prefer to know what you have to do offensively, that the team that gets it second will have the benefit of knowing that and have to go for all four down, go on every single fourth down, right? I mean,
yep, that's what we touched on, right? That was would be the analytical approach. I know I need a field goal. I know I need a touchdown, and I'm going to use all four downs to get it. It's a tie game. I still have to protect the football, field position, all those things. I think all that comes into play. But at the end of the day, I think it's important that, with the investment that teams are making to quarterbacks, that, those premier players are, going to have an opportunity to have an impact on the game if it were to go to overtime.
What'd you like about your idea? What did you like about that?
I thought that it gave a little bit of validation instead of having a walk-off that you had to validate. I used to watch the old Skins game with my grandpa, and if you made a birdie, you'd have to validate and at least make a par on the next hole to win all the cash. And so I thought that would be a way to validate it. If there were a long penalty, a long pass play, long touchdown, somebody falls down or something, and maybe a team was going to go for two, didn't get it 50% of the time. They could ultimately end up losing the game. If you opted to kick the extra point, then the other team would get the ball. So it had a little bit of intrigue, and our guess was that 75% of the time that the other team was going to get it, but in the end, it couldn't guarantee that they would.
Well, I didn't run into you on the night of honors, Coach Mike Vrabel, but congratulations on the award. So well earned and richly deserved. Who'd you hear from that night?
A lot of people. Just coaches, friends, family. Just players. It's a great honor. It's an honor and a privilege to have played in this game and have the opportunity to coach in it. And you're a good coach because you have great players, and that's what it comes down to. So,
did you hear from Belichick? Did you hear from Bill that night?
I obviously heard from Bill, but not in that regard. He wasn't on the inbox. I don't think that night.
He wasn't tuned in to NFL honors? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so.
Coach Mike Vrabel, I appreciate the time. Thanks very much.
Always, guys. Thank you so much.
No, you got it, man. Thanks for the time, and we'll see you down the road. Thank you. Okay. You got it. That's Mike Vrabel, everybody. Coach Mike Vrabel. He doesn't like long winding wind-ups. I'm very ponderous. He wasn't. Was he busting?
He's all business.
He's busting my balls on how ponderous I was? Is that what that was?
I think that's also an Ohio State mission.
No, it is not.
I think he's.
No, it is not.
I think he gives it to you because he knows.
That I can take it?
And that you got them this year.
I kind of appreciate that. How many interviewers is he interrupting saying, how is this pertinent to me?
I love that.
You know what I mean?
He's like, I
how
can't
many people
game plan
I get it. Why don't you just get around to it?
I wanted to
How many
give
people
him.
Does he say that to?
I wanted to give him a fake scenario, like
what?
We're at Kansas City. You guys just came from 10
I don't
down
think he was
to
into
force
that idea.
overtime.
He was basically telling you
it's cold.
By the way,
what do you do?
That was the Belichick in him right there. Like, of course, there's so many different circumstances. Yeah. Big rainstorm's coming. I'm not giving the ball up. I'm trying to score. You moron.
What are we supposed to do, you moron?
You know what I mean?
I also would like to play golf with Mike Vrabel.
By the way, I don't know if that's the New Yorker in me. I kind of appreciate that straightforwardness right there. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.